Welcome back to Friday Night Fights. This is week 7, or day 7 in the client. We are covering Division 2B, and we're about the midway season. With me, as always, is Charles.
Hello. Yeah, we're past the midway point of the season now.
This is where dreams die at this point in the season, or they get made.
Yeah, not your dreams yet. Seems you kept your end of the bargain there.
Yeah, my dreams are still alive, but this week they fade fast, I think. How did yours go?
Yeah, I lost the top spot, so you were the only one representing Friday Night Fights at the moment.
Oh, that's gonna be ugly then if I'm carrying the banner.
Yeah, all of our hopes to be champion, championship program.
They ride on my shoulders?
Yes.
Oh God, we're doomed. All right.
Need you.
No.
Yeah, I mean, you need recappers to be at the playoffs, right? So
yeah,
one of us has to.
Yeah, you want a recap representing playoffs for the professional attitude they bring to the program.
Yes,
I got you.
And to bring the ratings to help struggling streams.
Absolutely, you want to throw some crumbs to these poor guys that are just out there streaming anything they can. All right.
Yes, they want to cover celebrities.
Absolutely. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back with our scorecards. Welcome back to Friday Night Fights. This is the scorecard segment. We take a look at last week's results and games. We're going to jump right into last week's match of the week. That was, of course, We Chillin', because We Chillin' has to be in the match of the week every single week. Let's
chilling at the main event.
Chilling in first place. Looks like you drew 2-2 here, Charles. Why don't you tell us a little about this game?
Yeah, well done by the Blighty Moles, Ken. I actually started just busting his screens and scoring twice on the first half.
I seen that, yeah.
Just shredding his offense, but then he gets an insane kick and a perfect defense on top of that kick, and everything goes to shit after that. And I really need to work on my game. On if you're on the last turn and you only need to not lose the ball, you have two players. There are some things that I could have done better, but yeah, I had 2 free players to protect the ball, and I forced the opponent to do a 50% dodge, so it wasn't bad, but at the end of the day, he got all the GFI, he got the ball served, he didn't fail anything, and got the draw. Well done. It's painful draw.
Yeah, I watched this game, and one of the interesting things I seen when you were up 2-1 was that when you, I want to say it was like turn 15 or 16, you dropped back all the way to your end zone. And I thought, why is he going all the way to the end zone? Why not swing around forward and just try a deep throw, like a punt? Because you only need one turn and force him to hand off a few times.
Yeah, my idea was that because of the stink, the
Nurgle, yeah.
All my passing game was gonna be difficult, and there was nobody really free to receive. So by trying to punt, I might actually just drop the ball, and I wanted to at least force him to put the ball on the ground, and then maybe the scatter could be bad, maybe he could have failed the dodge, maybe some GFI would fail. I don't know if it was the right play. I know I could have done better, but that was my idea at least.
Yeah, when I watched that, I thought I had to go back and look at it, but I think when you drop back to the end zone, you could have also dropped back to the corner of the end zone, and that would have given you a better shot at getting a scatter. Because I think your only option there was to scatter forward, where he would just pick it up. But if you got a side scatter, sometimes you can get it to go back over halfway to the other side of the pitch. But you go back and watch it. You'll know more than I do about Dark Elves.
It's a rare situation that I'm gonna be at that, so maybe I need to improve on that.
It's one of those rare times you wish you had Hail Mary Pass. But congratulations to the Blighty Mozo. I try to talk everybody into getting Hail Mary Pass, but they never do. Congratulations, Blighty Mozo. I mean, you were down 0-2 when I watched it, and I thought, oh boy, this is going downhill quick. And he managed to come back, and then he tied it up. I mean, that was very impressive on his part. All right, let's take a look at our next game. Gourmet Governors 1-2 loss to Boss Hog Outlaws.
Yeah, painful game for the Governors. I was in there watching. They kind of got into trouble by rolling a GFI. They start getting punched as you expect. I think they feel like some dub skulls. Things got a bit weird, but they go into to a side cage and they do an extra GFI to get into scoring range, and that's a 1 in 36. The ball gets on the ground. Then the Charves recovered, but as vampires do, they just sack the ball. And then I think the game was maybe a bit of tilt on Lumi's side because it was a very tough game up until the point because he gets all the good draws he needs to recover the ball and to get the ball carrier free, and then he decides to throw one extra GFI and fails, drops the ball, and then the Charves just remove everyone, get the ball, go 1-0. Then the game seemed to be over right there, but the Vampires actually get a defensive blitz and are able to score from there.
Okay.
But then you have to score fast, and Charves have numbers. Vopes and Kota was playing solid. They were getting removals, and they just marched to the end zone again. 2-1 grind.
So this game had some weird dice rolls, like Lumi's ones where he had 42 of those. His sixes he had 57, and then every other number in between was in the 30s. So it's just like a really weird result there. And then the other thing that kind of stands out to me is Boss Hog Outlaws had 20 POWs, 13 defender stumbles, and only 9 skulls. So it's like the POWs were just rolling.
I mean, it's not Vope's fault, but I do think the dice were a bit favorable to them, and the Vampires kind of got screwed there.
Well, yeah, as a Chaos Dwarf coach, I can tell you, anytime you have POWs that double your skulls, it's a really good day usually. Just because you're putting down beating, and you start getting bodies removed, it's a little easier to play.
Yes, and the Vampires actually removed themselves, I think, twice by failing dodges or something.
Yeah.
They KO'd themselves, and if that's happening again, the other team is actually a Bash team. You're not gonna have many people by the end of the game.
It's gonna be a long day. Murdery Space Elf Troop 1-0 win over Stump Force. Let's take a look here.
Yeah, I missed this one, but good win by the Dark Elf team.
Yeah, let's take a look. Blocks are pretty close, a lot closer than I'd expect. Let's see. Only 1 casualty by Stump Force that he took. Space Elf Troop took 2 and 2 KOs. Slow day on pickup for skill points for both coaches. And let's see anything that stands out here. Dodge is not going very well for Murdery Space Elf Troop, 78%. You'd look for about 83% usually.
Yeah, it's average.
Yeah, it's a little below average.
How many did he throw?
He got 26 successful ones and 7 failed dodges.
That's a lot, but yeah, it's on alright.
His armor was holding up really well though, 76% of the time. Of course, that's because the other team doesn't have claw, so that's about on target. GFIs were great. Everything looks okay here. Let's take a look at Stump Force.
One thing that comes to mind is the Stump Force actually lost by the same result to every Dark Elf team.
Yeah.
So they gotta punch the big guys, I guess, because if you're dwarves and you're losing to the elves now, you gotta beat something, right?
So here's what stands out to me for Stump Force. Their GFIs, they had 10 successfuls and 5 failures, but going for it 15 times as dwarves tells me you're out of position a lot. You're not spreading out. I mean, I'd have to go back and watch the game, but to me, when you start failing those, you're creating opportunities for the elves just to do what they want. I'd have to look at that game and actually watch it to find out. But you said he lost to the other elves in saying a similar manner, so maybe just work on positioning. With dwarves, it's so important to have proper position, so you don't need a GFI. It's hard to do.
I think actually his build is not made to beat the elves. I don't think he's targeting beating elves.
He's just trying to beat Bash.
Yeah, I think he's trying to survive against Bash, and if us fast teams win, force him to throw GFIs, then whatever, at least we don't kill his team. That's what I think.
Yeah, probably. We'd have to talk to him. If he gets on the show, we'll ask him.
Yeah, he might come in. I'm trying.
One Romanian Rebels, 1-2 loss to 1 cheese. Let's take a look.
Oh,
What?
yeah. This, I mean, the red team, Rex Longbone, they got like 5 casualties on the first half. The elves actually do a great job protecting the ball because you're missing 5 people and you're still protecting the ball against rats. So that is an impressive thing. But they try to just make a break for it late. They end up sacked, of course, because it's rats, right? They have a great sacker. And I thought it was interesting that they didn't go for the score on turn 8. I know it would have been difficult, but I mean, might as well try, I guess. It could have changed the game if they got it. I mean,
just when you're desperate, just take your shot.
Yeah, if you can take 5 casualties, then maybe you can get lucky at the end, right? Sometimes luck evens out.
I've seen people with 3 players on the pitch score, so I mean, you can get lucky sometimes.
And then second half, the casualties and KOs keep coming for the Reds. Keep in mind that the Elves have a deep bench, so they actually showed up with a decent amount of players. But by turn 10, they only have like 4 people on the pitch. And then the Reds look at that and they just score. They you know.
Yeah. So looking at these, looking at these stats, the Romanian Rebels' armor only held up 48% of the time, and then their injuries 37% of the time. I mean, that's an insane number right there. Like they were just every time they were getting punched, they were 37% of the time they were staying in the game, but the other 73%, 63%, 60 whatever percent. My math is not my strong suit. Clearly, is that they're getting removals. So.
Yeah, when we spoke to Roper, we learned that he is pretty new to this level, so this is the type of game that can make you feel like, oh, this is gonna suck, but it was an atypical game. You shouldn't expect. I mean, of course, Rex Longbone played well, and he could probably win even without it, but it's not gonna be like this every time, right?
Yeah,
and it's very painful.
Rex is a competent coach. He knows what he's doing, and
of course,
his armor held up 60% of the time. And here's the one that really stands out: the injury rolls 0. So every time he rolled for injuries, he was fine. He didn't get off the pitch. So yeah, that's gonna make it hard to beat.
That was a big difference. He did get a lightning bolt that failed.
Okay.
And that helped the Elves score with just 4 people on the pitch. And I also want to say that the Elves did a good job making it difficult for the score. Like, he had 4 players to stop Reds from scoring a 2-turn, and he actually made them throw some dice. I think it was fine. For what the game is, Roper did a good job.
Yeah, and hopefully you learned something there because you've got 1 cheese coming up, and he's a bit of a rat killer, or he's a bit of a dark elf killer. So
yeah, I mean,
that's gonna be rough for you.
This is gonna be one of the most difficult games to win, and it might be even difficult for me to get a draw from him. I'm being honest. I think he is a big favorite. Probably the worst matchup I have in the division.
All right, let's take a look at Bogue Bombers versus Yeti to Conquer.
Look at that, the dwarf team getting a win.
Yeah, who called that? I think I picked the dwarf team.
Yes, you picked the dwarves.
Yeah, Bogue bombing dwarfs. Gotta give me.
Nobody believed that.
Nobody believed me. I said these little human dwarfs could get it done, and they did it. 68% ball possession. That's nice. Put 7 KOs down on Yeti to Conquer and 1 casualty. So getting it done the hard way. Bad day for Yeti to Conquer. Only 5 skill points. They didn't get anything done.
And that slows them down a little bit.
Yeah.
They were close to the playoffs. I think they were in the playoff spots, and they recently have been stopped. And this is a big upset. And nice job by the Bogue Bombers, actually.
Yeah, nice
it's
armor.
So tough to beat these guys.
Yeti armor holding up 53% of the time, and injuries 64% of the time. So just one of those great days for the Bogue Bombers. Let's see, 2 passes, 1 failed, catches, 3 successful, 1 catch. So I assume just a little razzle-dazzle pass and score. Nice day for them. All right, let's take a look. Bring out your undead. Lost to the Grody Greens, 0-1.
Yeah, it seems like his luck ran out.
Yeah.
You're always complaining about his luck.
I know, he's such a lucker noob, as he says. Strong day for both teams. A lot of blocks sustained. Bad day for bring out your undead skill point wise.
Yeah, a lot of blocks is because the strength pieces, they just based each other and kept trading blitzes,
trading
kept
punches.
trading blocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody can dodge, right? So they just go into base contact and they duke it out.
Yeah.
Regen actually was good. It saved Camry like 2 or 3 times in the first half. But then they get a chance for a sec after the Nurgle fail a 1 in 36 dodge, but they decide to go for a 1 in 9 block before that. They failed, and they reroll into skulls. So that was a big blow, but it didn't matter because the Nurgle team actually forgot to score turn 8.
Whoops.
Yeah.
Well,
you got one of those, I guess.
I guess you're just happy to get by with the win and forgot.
Yeah. No. He actually forgot to score when the game was 0-0, so they come out to the second half at 0-0. The Camry actually make a break for it. It's starting to get crowded in the middle, so they go into the sideline, and they get even more squeezed. When they are forced to try to get more space, they get sacked. The game actually gets a little bit crazy, but the Nurgle eventually stabilizes, and this time they didn't forget to score.
I see. All right. Well, congratulations on that win.
Yeah.
Let's see. Ace Trucking. Trying to what?
Yeah, the Grody Greens, they're trying to turn the season around. I think they started pretty roughly, but this is a great win.
Yeah.
Beating Bring Out Your Undead, one of the top teams so far.
Yep. Ace Trucking Company, longtime Chorf team versus Ars Gosha, somewhat long Chaos team. 0-2 loss. Ars Gosha picks up a win. Now, I know Ace Trucking Company came in a little wounded, and it looks like at the end of this game, they came out even more wounded. I mean, 8 casualties, 1 death, 2 KOs. I just don't think at any point this game was ever competitive. It was just a brutal game.
Yeah, I didn't even watch it because I didn't expect them to have much of a chance.
Yeah.
And it seems like Mini Ziazera put them down a little bit more.
Yeah, that will go a long way for his next opponent. I'm sure it's going to be one of the harder teams. Oh, wait, no, Rand's getting him next. Never mind. So Rand gets another free week. Unfortunate. Nothing to say here other than just a regular good old-fashioned beatdown. I mean, Claw's doing work, and then Injury's doing work, and sticking it to him.
I actually like what Ziazera does when in these situations because he keeps his foot on your neck after you're down.
You like what he does on that situation because he's not doing it to you. When he's doing it to you, you're like, oh, this sucks.
But it's so rare that a Chorf team is gonna be beat down and then they just don't stand up, don't try to win, and then they think that, oh, if you're gonna foul, you're a mini. But yeah, that's what you do to other people.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I love to see that. I think he done that on the playoffs. He absolutely shredded that Dwarf team, and I think that's what has to be done because that's what Bash teams do.
Yeah.
So you gotta take it some as well.
You're absolutely right. I mean, a Chorf team or 2 Bash teams should trim each other's TV down for the health of the league, but right now nobody's trimming Ars Gosha down. That's the problem. And if
somebody gets to get on that.
Somebody's got to get some of his better players and just say, I'm going to lose this game, but I'm going to target this guy every single turn I can. I mean, we've all been there before. Like I've dropped Lightning Bolt on a player even though I didn't need to, just so I could get a chance to get at him and foul him. So you got to take one for the team or for the league sometimes.
That seems like a heroic play.
Hey, you gotta be. Hey, I don't like to call myself a hero, but people are talking.
By the way, Ziazera is so deep into spiraling expenses that even if you kill a rookie, you might be putting him into trouble. So
keep at it.
Going for the lowest common denominator is actually not bad against this team.
Yeah, I like it. All right, let's take a quick commercial break. We'll come back with our next segment, our pound for pound leaderboard. And welcome back to Friday Night Fights. This is the pound for pound segment where we take a look at our leaderboard at the top of the division and still back on top, actually. Just took that one back away from We Chillin' as Zia Zeta with 15 points. And We Chillin' and Murdery Space Elf Troop. Interesting, the two Dark Elf teams coming in here in second and third. And Chaos Dwarfs coming in at fourth. These two Chaos Dwarf teams are definitely going in different directions, though. I mean, Kix got wrecked, and he's probably going to get wrecked one more time before he can even start to buy back players. So
yeah, and if Buzzhog can roast some sort of claw soon, it's going to be a problem. He's already winning, like, I don't know, 3 games in a row or something like that.
Yeah, without Claw, though, he is definitely limited in what he can do against the Bash teams. So...
Sure.
Now, of course, my advice always is if you don't roll a Claw in your first season, you should get rid of your entire team and start over. But people don't listen to me. Let's take a look here. Who's still in contention? It looks like 5th through 9th still has a chance at the playoffs. I would say 10th through 14th, you're not going to make that unless you win every game outright, and there's a lot of losses at the top. I would assume you're not making the playoffs.
The losses at the top will be there, by the way.
But how many?
Because this division is so close, we are trading points, everyone's losing points to each other. There's a lot of draws.
Yeah.
I contribute a lot to those draws, actually. It's not not that I want to. So the points will be dropped. The thing is, can you win out? Can you turn the season around now? And it's pretty difficult to do, but I think most of the teams in here, they only need themselves, like, they don't need to get lucky, they need to win.
Yeah, and one of the fun things to do, I think, like, I've been at the bottom back down here before, believe it or not, Charles, and what I do then is set my own goals. Like, I'm going to look at the teams I'm going to play and look at their best player. Can I kill that player? Will that hurt his chance? I mean, I have tried so many times to knock people out. I've done it a few times where you knock off their chances of getting into the playoffs, or you knock out their best player and it hampers them. That makes me laugh.
I have a fond memory of when I niggled the killer from a ARC team going into the playoffs.
Yeah.
Because I was so mad that he used Pylon as a team who already has a ticket to the playoffs on a lineman.
Yes.
On a rookie lineman, you're gonna just Pylon? Like, you are already on the playoffs, so I just do whatever play I could to foul that guy, and I got a niggle.
I love those kind of spite stories. Good. It's the best.
Yeah,
it's
so good.
You've got nothing else to play for. I mean, you can play for development, but when you get those chances and you become the hero of the division, that kind of stuff is the stuff of legend.
You're playing against a man who has nothing to lose, and you just want to be mean like that. You should take it.
There is nothing scarier than towards the end of the season where somebody says, well, I'm going to re-roll this team, so I'm just going to go YOLO. And you're like, oh, God. And they start doing these crazy... I mean, that happened to me last season. I got knocked out of the playoffs because somebody with Skaven was like, let's see if I can make this 6-up, 5-up, 4-up pass to the end zone. And yep, he made it. And I'm like, oh, this sucks because you can't account for madmen. And this is where the madmen show up at the end of the season. So don't get disgruntled if you're at the bottom. Keep going and make us laugh and become play of the week. That would be awesome. All right. Let's take a quick commercial break. We'll come back with our next segment. Welcome back to Friday Night Fights. This is our main event series. Now, this season on our main event, we bring in a guest from the division, and they kind of talk about what's going on. They make some picks with us. Now, remember in grade school when you'd have like a really fat kid, but you would call him Slim? Or like you'd have a really tall kid, you'd call him Tiny. So what I want to introduce our guest, and I want him to tell us a little about his nickname. So welcome to the show, Rex Longbone. How you doing, Rex?
I'm doing great.
Yeah, so tell us about your nickname. How'd you get that nickname?
So it actually comes from the first WoW character I ever played, who was a Dwarf Paladin. And in character creation, he had this big porn star mustache. And I was like, I gotta think of like the best porn star name. So that's why I came up with Rex Longbone.
Yeah, I think my version is a little better than yours, though, Rex. All right. Well, good. You're here to help us pick some games, Charles. Who do you have up for us as our main event this week?
According to popular demand, We Chillin' was
They're banned?
Too much on the top.
Oh my God, I know.
Now, we're gonna go with Yeti the Conqueror versus the Murder Elves. space troop.
Nice.
something.
All right. Hey, look at that. Murdery's face-off troop and is it Yeti to Conquer? Yeah. Wow, big upset. We were expecting a three-peat for the We Chillin' team here.
Oh yeah.
All right.
The people have spoken.
They have, yes, they very angrily have spoken. All right, let's take a look here, and we'll get right into our matchups for the week. So let's find Yeti to Conquer and Murdery Space Elf Troop. Murdery Space Elf Troop comes in at 1790. Yeti to Conquer coming in at 1670. Let's take a look and see who's healthy, who's weak, who's not. Berserker is missing. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, not just any berserker. Drex Pavement Pounder.
Yeah, that's a beastly guy. I mean, he's armor 6 now, but he's pretty stout.
As Iron Master will tell you, he's always on the ground because he piles on every turn. So
Yeah.
actually, that 6 is upside down, so it's really 9.
Oh, that's a good way to think of it. Let's
Wow.
see. Murdery Space Elf Troop missing a Blitzer who's just got Sidestep Lodge Fend. So not as big of an impact. Who do you like in this matchup, Charles?
I wasn't able to beat Iron Master, but I do think the Elf Troop has all the tools to do so. And with Drex missing the game, they might not take that many removals. So I'm going with the Dark Elf Brothers.
All right. I'm taking a look here, and I'm going with Norse. I think they still have enough tackle to get it done. They still have enough strength, and they're just going to pile on and pound these elves back into the ground. And
I agree.
yeah, there you go. What do you think, Rex? You got them?
Yeah, I think I've seen the Norse in this. I think Norse do really well into Agi teams anyway.
I think so too.
And then plus he's got this disgusting block tackle Yeti. Got a bunch of blocks sprinkled around. I think he's got enough to deal with the blodge and the guard.
He definitely does, and he's got some strength boost here, so he's gonna get some easy one guy, 2 dice on targets of opportunity. So that's who I like. But anything can happen in this game of skill. All right, let's take a look at our next matchup. Hey, back to We Chillin' versus the Boss Hog Outlaws. Now, interesting thing about this game is that the Boss Hog Outlaws, Vulpen Escolta, is Charles's Chorf hero. So how are you going to go up against your hero? And I mean, are you going to be able to do that, or are you going to take it easy on him? What's gonna go on here?
Oh, I'm gonna just dodge away, and
Okay.
he's gonna be allowed to get a draw.
Yeah, he's just gonna have to catch you.
Want
We Chillin'. Oh, so go ahead, Rex. What?
Sorry. I just like that Charles is gonna allow him to have a draw.
Charles allows you people to get wins in this division. Have you not heard that? He's like, well, I can't just dominate the division. That would look bad for optics of the division.
Yeah, he's close.
Yeah, We Chillin' at 17-10. Let's take a look. Anybody out? Oh, missing a Blitzer. And Charles, looks like your team is getting whittled down again, where you're starting to lose players.
Yes, and that Eagle on the failed apple hurts me a little bit, but I just have 2 more Charves to face, and
then it's all.
I'm sure those reds are not gonna kill me anything.
Oh, those are famous
So-
last words.
My rats tend to completely devour Dark Elf teams for whatever reason.
There you go.
Oh yeah.
Boss Hog Outlaws coming in missing just 1 blocker, otherwise pretty healthy, and still a lot of good development here that they've got going on.
Other than the lack of claw, this is like a great Chorf team.
Yeah, definitely could use more claw. Charles, I'll let you pick last. Rex, I'll let you pick your matchup first. Who do you like in this one?
I think it's the Charfs.
Interesting. I am gonna go with the elves. I think Charles has been playing Chorfs long enough, and he knows how to beat them. And I think Boss Hog Outlaws doesn't have enough removal piece. I mean, they've got plenty of strength here, and they've got plenty of Mighty Blow, but I just don't think he's gonna be able to keep pace with Charles's shenanigans, where he dances in the backfield and then scores on 1 turn. Charles, who do you like in this one?
Yeah, if I'm being realistic, I think it's the Boss Hog. It's a great coach, and they have a favorable race matchup, so if I can squeeze out a draw, maybe I should be happy if no one dies, but mostly I think they should win a 2-1 grind.
You know what? Your lack of confidence in your team has changed my mind. I'm gonna go with Boss Hog Outlaws as well.
Oh, you can't. I already panned it out.
Oh, did you?
now-
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, I was trying to cast or curse you there, really, so. All right. Let's take a look at our.
Cover your bases then.
Yeah.
You're gonna be right either way.
Yeah, I'll just edit it back out. I'll be right.
Literally the first time I bothered to look at Charles' Dark Elves, and I could really actually.
They're really what?
Charles has a really gross Dark Elf team. It's the first time I've bothered to look at it.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Oh, come on, gross. They just leaped and failed leaps and...
Charles complains about playing in these divisions where people can destroy his team, but then when you look at his team, all he does is leap in, take the ball, and score. And it's like, what do you complain about? As long as you don't get hit, you're fine.
Yeah, but like you always get hit.
Well,
They get the hit every turn. It's not fair.
yeah.
Exactly. Thank you.
All right. Stump Force, 1640 versus the Blighty Moes at 2100. These Blighty Moes are starting to get beefy now. Gonna give up a lot of inducements these days. A Blitzer is out for Stump Force. Other than that, Death Roller still looks healthy. Oh, Death Roller took multiple block, it looks like. Since last I seen it. And the Blighty Moes completely healthy. And this team is just getting... I mean, they've got Mighty Blow, Claw, Pylon. I mean, it's just... This is becoming an ugly, ugly team.
Yeah.
I do not want to face them next season. Hopefully they continue to lose and I continue to win and I won't have to.
I'm done with the Blighty Modes already.
Yeah, I think in this one I'm taking the Blighty Moes. I think they have enough to get past. Once they move that Death Roller out of the way for a drive, it's all downhill for the poor little dwarves at that point. Who do you like in this one, Rex?
The dwarves are gonna get like 3 bribes,
True.
so they can't just score to get the Death Roller off. They gotta actually kill it. But I still think Nurgle are gonna take it. Like Nurgle are the granddaddy of bash matchups, and I just don't think dwarves have enough strength or card, even with the Death Roller, to deal with.
Yeah, I do love the Death Roller has block on it. That's kind of fun, but I just don't think that's the only piece on this team that I would be worried about if I was the Nurgle team. Charles, who do you like?
Yeah, the Stump Force were able to bring down Ars Goetia, and I think it would be cool that if they could repeat that, but I'm gonna make it a clean sweep for the Blighty Moes. It's just Claw versus their natural prey, and a team close to the top versus a team near relegation, so I gotta go with the Nurgle.
Yeah. Of course, he could upset the whole thing here, and if he does upset the whole thing, Charles will pick you the rest of the season.
Right.
Yeah, I'm glad I made that
Okay, you
pronouncement.
heard it here first.
You heard it here first. Charles will do that because I told him to.
Yes.
Here's an interesting matchup. One Cheese versus the Gourmet Governors. Now, One Cheese coming in at 1720. Gourmet Governors at 1640. Luminous Light, coach of the Governors, a much better coach than Rex Longbow. I mean,
By far.
yeah, I mean, it's not even. It's
By far.
thankfully One Cheese has a well-developed team against one of the worst teams in the game. One Cheese coming in completely healthy. I mean, other than his vampire, or he's got a blitzer here, doesn't he? Let's see. One Cheese has a blitzer here with what is it? Damage back, 2 damage backs. Ooh.
Two niggles, edgy buzz, move the buzz.
Oh,
But he's fine.
yeah, he's claw pile on. I mean,
Yeah.
he's just gonna hit people and lay down. Let's take a look at the vampire team. Coming in missing 2 thralls, 1 with block and kick. So, you know, actually that missing that kick is kind of big because now he can't really position for blitzes. Although I haven't seen Luminous do that very often. I've played a lot of vampire teams that will position for kicks, position for a blitz, and just take the ball from you before you can even get it.
Yeah, it makes a big difference.
It's yeah, not having kick is kind of huge because now he's going to actually have to take a whole drive to get the ball. Charles, who do you like in this matchup?
I usually think that speed is something that causes problems to the vampires. So against a Skaven team, and I gotta pick them, and I think it unfortunately is gonna end Lumi's playoff hopes this week.
Does he have playoff hopes still?
For sure.
He does.
Okay.
He had 7 points. He's like 4 points behind. It's totally doable, but
Okay.
he needs this one.
Well, since he has playoff hopes on the line, I am going to pick Luminous to get it done.
Okay, I like it.
I like it. Rex, who do you like in this one?
I feel pretty comfortable in the vampire matchup. I just don't feel comfortable in the Lumi matchup.
Yeah,
But so before his last game, like I was looking at his team, I was like, "Fuck, he's got a big bench. He's got great vampires. I'll maybe get a wizard if he doesn't fire a guy, and so I wasn't feeling great about it. But now at least his bench is gone, so there's at least like I can always just dice him. It's my plan.
Yeah, so I feel comfortable in my pick. If your entire pick is dicing him, I assume okay. How much experience have you had playing against vampires?
In Rebbl, I've played 3 different vampire teams, I think, and I've won all of them. The last one I beat 6-0.
Okay, so you've played. You played vampires.
So how many are
3.
you scoring this week?
My goal is a nice fat 3-0, but we'll see.
Oh my god.
Nice.
I-
I'm gonna be looking for that.
I'm gonna be messaging Lumi about this.
It's probably more likely it's gonna be like a 2-1 or something if I win.
All right.
Lumi's a very solid coach, and it makes a big difference.
Yeah,
And
that,
he's also like his vampires to the point where they're now a good team. The vampires are only bad until they get to the point where their vampires look like this, and these vampires are fucking gross.
yeah. You definitely need some vampire development, and then it becomes ugly when you can't form a cage on one end. But then again, you're playing fast rats, so I don't know how important a cage is to you. I mean, you can just scuttle out of it.
I don't think I've made a cage in 3 seasons.
Yeah, there you go. That should
my
be.
team's gross, huh?
Yeah.
My rats are really gross, I'll admit.
Okay.
Very true. All right, Grody Greens and Romanian Rebels. The Grody Greens come in at 1870. Romanian Rebels at 1550. Quite the TV difference there. Let's see who's out of the game. Grody Greens, another Nurgle team coming in completely healthy. People, you gotta get some work done against these guys, otherwise it's gonna be a long season. Now
They kill elves, but they don't kill the bad guys.
I know. The Romanian Rebels come in completely busted up, missing 2 blitzers and a lineman. Oof, that's gonna be a tough one. I will have. I hate to bet against the Romanian Rebels because every time I bet against them, they turn around and win it. I'm gonna go with Grody Greens just based on team strength here. Who do you like, Rex?
I think I like the Nurgle as well.
It's hard to bet against that strength 6 beast just parking somewhere and causing havoc.
Yeah, well, and he's missing 3 of his blodgers. One of them is a strength 4 guy. The other one's his main blitzer.
Yep.
So like he's got a lot of really. The Romanian Rebels got a lot of value out, and plus that fucking beast just so much bench presence.
Yeah, but the Romanian Rebels still have that lineman with dirty player, so they could do stuff. That is the most insane thing I've ever seen. But
He fouled me 3 times last week, I think.
I know, God bless him.
And he got a stun, I think, every time.
Elves just are not meant to foul. They're more of a finesse team.
Oh no, I think he got a KO.
He got a kill on the killer.
Oh,
Yeah, he did.
Well, there
but
you
I
go.
still killed the rest of his team. One killer, so.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It happens. It was a dicing. Charles, who do you like in this one? Elf
yeah,
Brethren?
I gotta go with the bad guy Nurgle.
Yeah.
Rebels are missing like 3 important players,
Mhm.
and it's already a bad matchup.
Yeah.
So maybe a draw from Dark Elves. Just don't let the Nurgle win, and everyone's happy, I guess.
Except for the Nurgle. They're probably not ecstatic
we
about
don't
that
know.
result. But they're playing Nurgle. Who cares? Ars Gosha versus the Bogue Bombers. Now, let's take a look here. Our old friend Zeta. Ars Gosha 2260 and Bogue Bombers, the most underrated dwarf team pretending to be humans that we've ever had in the division. Let's see. A Beastman is out.
Zeta already lost to the other dwarf team, so maybe it's a repeat.
Maybe. Oh, you know what? The Bogue Bombers come in completely healthy. They've swapped out all of their dwarfs for humans, and looks like they're ready to go. They've got, completely healthy. So this will be an interesting one. I know that Zeta gets a lot of value from just destroying people's teams, but now he's going to sit on all this claw that's not really going to be much. I mean, unless he can hit a blitzer here and there, but I think the speed factor goes to the humans. So for this matchup, I'm going to go with my upset pick will be the Bogue Bombers take this one.
Nice, I like it.
Bold strategy. Who do you like in this one, Rex?
Zeta.
Of course. That's an easy pick. See, have you played him yet?
I haven't played Z, no.
Okay.
I really want Bogue Bombers to like
Massacre?
Kill something. I don't
Yeah.
give a fuck what it is. Just kill one of his fucking positions, because like, oh god, something on his team needs to die. He has way too many good players.
Look, if one of his warriors dies, it's a setback. I mean, he's got a minimum of 140 TV in one player. He's got 200 on the other warrior, but it's like these players just don't die. They keep killing, and then the Beastmen come by and they keep killing. So Man, it's gonna be a rough time. Whoever gets him, if he makes it to the playoffs, seeing that first like chaos team just drop hammers on people. But nobody in the league is doing it. So who do you like in this one, Charles?
Yeah, the smart money is on Ziazera. I do like to see that the Bombers have a lot of meat to put on the grinder because they're gonna have a bunch of inducements and they already have like 2 or 3 bench players.
Yep.
So
I mean, that's
they
close
might
to
just
500
foul and
TV.
get somebody else.
What's it, like 560 TV difference there?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of beef.
Yeah, but the smart money is on Ziazera. I would like to see both Bombers turn it around and take down the bad guys, but I gotta pick the Chaos.
Yeah, all right. That seems a smart money. Last one up. Ace Trucking Company going up against Noob of the Year, Ran the Mads, Bring Out Your Undead. Now, once again, this Lucker Noob, Ran the Mad, gets one of the killy teams that's not even fielding half of its players. I mean, this is insanity. I'm so tired of Ran the Mad. How does he, like, is he paying somebody in Rebbl for these matchups? But look, there's a blocker out, and a Bull Centaur out for kicks. Like, one of the all-time great killy teams in the league. And Rand goes, oh, this ain't too bad. Look at this. No, and he comes in completely healthy. What up?
3 blockers.
Oh my, yeah, he gets to play against 3 blockers. It's just insane. Like, I don't even think you can take that many mercenaries. Like, if you take mercenaries at this point, you can give them 1 skill, I think, maybe. But it's just insane. It's like, okay, Rand, you've got this one. Congratulations. But if this had been like the other week where Ziazeta had came off of beating Rand like this, then Ace would have had the easy win. But I don't see any way for Ace to get the win here. So hopefully he focuses on just killing more of there's another Tomb Guardian who needs to die. The Tomb Guardian with block. Go ahead and kill that one.
Yep.
That's
He's got 2 throw rods that one of them needs to die.
Yeah. I mean, any of these stat freaks, I would just buy I'd just buy like $500 worth of bribes and just say it's on. So, who do you like in this one, Charles?
Yeah, we don't even need to pick this one. I think Bring Out Your Undead wins.
That's not your upset pick of the. You're not gonna go with kicks as your upset. Okay.
Yeah, that's gonna be a tough upset.
That's gonna be a hell of an upset. Rex, I assume you're in agreement.
No, I believe in kicks.
Oh, upset pick of the week.
I like it.
The decent game gonna work out.
Now, have you played against Bring Out Your Undead yet?
I have. We played in Challengers Cup last season.
But not for this season, right?
No, not yet. I got a week 13, so he knocked me out of Challengers Cup.
Yeah.
So that's a grudge match. So I've been every time a Tomb Guardian dies on Raid's team, I just happily celebrate.
Oh my God, he is going to kill. He's going to murder you now.
He murdered me last time.
Oh, he's going to murder you this time too, and hopefully that ends your playoff hopes.
No.
Yeah, good times. So Rand, we are all making fun of you for getting an easy, lucky noob game, but take out your frustrations on Rex Longbone's team.
My one turner's already dead. There's nothing left to kill.
Yeah. Well,
And
your
now
spirit.
We can talk shit about him now because I've already faced.
Oh yeah, you've already faced him, so. All right. I think that is all of our games. Rex, how long have you been playing Blood Bowl? Just in general.
Blood Bowl 2 came out, I've been playing it heavily. Like, I first got into it back in like 2009 when it was Blood Bowl 1, but I couldn't get past the atrocious interface to really learn it.
The sweet graphics.
Yeah, but then Blood Bowl 2 came out, I dove deep into it, and so I've been playing basically since then.
All right, how long have you been streaming a while too, haven't you?
Yeah.
Now, do you find it distracting to try to stream and play at the same time?
No, not at all. I don't give a shit what chat says.
Oh.
You
Cool.
probably have a bigger brain than I do.
Yeah.
Because it's enough for me to stream and play.
Charles, most people in Rebbl do have a bigger brain than you do. Come on.
I believe that.
Okay.
I think sometimes I actually play a little bit better because I'm trying to like at least like explain a little bit of what I'm trying to do, but that forces me to actually think about what I'm doing when I'm streaming. Because I'm trying to talk through it, and if I'm talking through it, I'll be like, oh no, that's fucking retarded, I won't do that.
Yeah, that makes sense. I can't do it. It's just too distracting, and I keep thinking, oh, everybody's watching how bad I play. I'm like, I already know how bad I play. I don't need to prove it to the world.
I can do it when playing Charves, but when playing Elves, I can't.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Too much thinking.
I don't like doing it when I get super salty because I feel like it's not like good content to put out. But also I know that people enjoy watching that sometimes, so it's whatever.
Oh, I love it. I love watching people
Some
get salty.
make clips out of it.
I make entire clips. Like if you ever see a clip from my one of my stupid segments, it's because somebody did something rude or kind of I thought was negative. So I make a clip and try to make fun of them without being salty back. So that's how I get back at them. Yeah, your matchup this week. I will appreciate seeing you die horribly, but I don't know if it's gonna happen or
I
not.
got one mighty blow.
Yeah.
I don't think my team's gonna die. I might lose, but my team's probably not gonna die.
No, I just said I would
Yeah.
appreciate seeing your team die. Yeah, that'll be an interesting one. We'll try to catch that one.
Speaking about that, I actually have a question. Can you tell us about your TV efficiency now after losing the one turner, and the fact that you actually got both wins after that sad day?
Yeah. Well, so everybody like before everybody always look at my team and be like, oh, he's got that one turner. That's probably his whole strategy, you know. But like I've never relied on the one turner to win games. So having the one turner out just means like in the games where I get absolutely diced, I just lose sooner. Because the one turner just always gives you a chance. That's all it does. It doesn't win the game for you. You
Okay.
still have 15 other turns you got to play, right?
You have a one turner on this team? I don't see which one's a one turner.
He had one.
Oh, you had one. It died. Oh, okay.
Any gutter runner's a one turner. It doesn't matter. It's just in matchups where you're down to 3 players, the one turner still gives you a chance to score.
Oh, okay. And now, have we ever covered you before in any of our seasons?
No, I don't think so.
Can I ask you a question that's really been bothering me?
Yeah.
Why did you pick these ugly uniforms?
So.
What happened? Okay, yeah, don't. They're unforgettable. They're certainly forgettable. So.
I definitely regretted it for a
Oh,
while.
finally somebody honest on the show. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, these are horrifyingly
time.
bad. Everybody else
Like, I
defends their
go-
bad choices. All
I
right,
don't know. I cycle between liking them and not liking them, but
just stick with not liking them.
most of the uniforms of level 2 suck anyway, so
How
it's hard
dare
to
you.
find a good choice.
How dare you? There are like each team has like 3 that are passable,
Yeah, exactly.
but this yellow and black stripe with orange numbers monstrosity is definitely not one of them. All right, well that was a great segment. Thank you for coming on, Rex. We really do appreciate it, and it's fun to listen to your streams. You are wacky and funny sometimes, and I can't wait to see you and Rand
like it
match up.
sometimes.
Sometimes.
Phelps thinks I laugh like a skaven whenever something dies.
I don't know what that means.
So, like, because every time I kill a player, I kind of cackle hysterically.
Oh,
And I guess he's like, you definitely like embody skaven.
there you go. You found your niche. Yeah, I found mine with Chaos Dwarves. I'm grumpy and angry. Charles has found his with Dark Elves. They're kind of effeminate.
He's super easy.
No, just kidding. All right. All right, we'll take a quick commercial break. We'll come back with the next segment. Welcome back to the final segment of the show where we just kind of sit around, talk shop, kibitz about the league. Charles, I don't know of any news around the league. I do know that I'm taking a look here at our ELO statistics and see what your computer. How's your computer chart holding up? Or your ELO statistics?
Oh, that was a great week for it overall.
Okay.
And in this division, it was actually even better because it was like something like 5 correct picks, 1 draw, and 1 wrong pick, something like that. So it's starting to look good.
Yeah, awesome. It's kind of fun to see every week. Now, this week is definitely in the gameplay. I have a really bad matchup. I got Lizardmen with Chaos Dwarves, and Lizardmen are just always so strong, and they just do what they want. It's
Yeah.
annoying as hell. And I only have 1 claw piece, so
And it's good that we don't cover any Lizardman team this season because my experience is that they are some of the biggest babies in the game and they are very underrated babies because like they play one of the strongest teams in any format you look at
Yep.
in Blood Bowl.
yeah,
And then they complain about the only counter to them.
I agree.
It's like me and Elf Coach complaining about tackle. It's
Yeah.
like if there's no tackle, I'm gonna win every game.
Yep.
You know.
I agree.
So, I'm a lizard man, and then you cannot have claws. Oh, nerf claws. Okay, you're gonna win. Oh, sure. Why
Yeah.
not we just make a game that you win every week?
Yeah, I have 7 pieces that have more than strength 4 on the pitch, and I wonder why you can't do anything. I mean, it's
Yeah.
so crazy. Like, I think the last time I played against Lizardman, I lost 4-0. It was one of those games where just I'd stand up, he'd throw me down, and go take the ball. And I was like, oh,
Yeah,
this sucks.
And they have perfectly capable ball carriers at level 1.
Oh my god, I
Like,
know.
They're just fast. They dodge without caring for
Tackle zone, they just go wherever they want.
tackle zone.
If you get a blitz, they're in your backfield. I mean, there's just
Yeah.
it's such a strong team, and it is kind of fun to see at this level though. They start to get weeded out slowly. Like we don't see any of them up here in 2B this season. It's because they slowly get to trim, and it's just not effective anymore. So their
And
fun
they
is
are
over.
not willing to rebuild.
No, it's too hard to rebuild because it takes forever to get your skill points up on them. We got some interesting matchups this week, that's for sure. This one here, the Grody Greens, Romanian Rebbl, 70%. The computer thinks 70%. Oof. I mean, I think the Romanian Rebels could pull off the upset, but man, they're gonna have to work for that one.
Yeah,
So.
the Grody Greens haven't had the best of seasons, and their rating is slowly declining. But the thing is, their last few seasons have been so good that they're still pretty way up there, even though the results this season do not show that. And that is something I'm looking at for future versions of the system. Maybe the rank needs to decay faster, but let's keep looking at how it shakes out.
Yep, and I like that you have a slight edge over Boss Hog Outlaws. That's gonna be another interesting one I want to catch. See how he handles you. That'll be fun. All right. Although the Ace Trucking Company bring out your undead, that's a lot closer. I guess it can't account for players missing, can it?
Right now it doesn't, and
Okay.
I don't know if it should. I need to experiment on it. And that's actually close to 2 coin flip games this week. Like Get It to Conquer, Murder Space Elf Troop, and Bring Out Your Undead, and Ace Trucking. It's basically coin flips for the system.
Well, that's good. Any other news around Rebbl that you know of?
I don't know, actually.
Yeah, I got nothing.
I've been pretty out of it.
Yeah, nothing interesting. All right, we'll wrap up the show, guys. Good luck with your games. Remember, keep submitting plays of the week if you have them. We didn't get one this week, so you scrubs are not in the contest this week. What we'll do is we'll get... Oh, I guess that's the end of the show. All right, have a good one, Charles. See ya.
Hey, you too.
Bye.